Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Off the Record with Judah
and Kirk.
And I don't know who did that intro. I feel like we just had a Vulcan hop on board the show.
Yeah, it's almost as if like somebody injected me with something, and like I turned into a Vulcan for a time there,
that's crazy.
And like I just started saying things in a weird, like very logical, structured, methodical way.
Yeah,
that was strange.
It's so out of left field.
Almost like that was one of the plots of one of the episodes this season.
Almost like that. It's crazy. Well, if you haven't yet guessed, we're digging into Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3. This show is suddenly good. Like, I don't know.
That's probably going to be the title of this video or something along those lines.
Yeah, because it's well documented. Again, there's 2 other videos.
Literally documented. Yeah. Watch our channel.
Are there 3 other?
3 videos. Because the first one we did a part 1, part 2. Second season we did just 1 video.
Yeah, and then we're doing this one. This is part 4 of our retrospective, I guess, is the best way. Looking into that new season, which is going to come out this summer, which is exciting. But this show is good all of a sudden. Yeah. At least I think I liked the majority of the episodes in the season. Yeah. Rather than I did in the last season.
Yes. Definitely a majority. And it definitely, second half better than the first half. To an extent. But there were also, it's less clear. Like a lot of times we've said, second half better than first half. Second half better than first half. Mm-hmm. And it's much more clear delineation. This time it is more spread out. There were a lot of good moments throughout the season. So let's get into that a little bit. Starting off.
Hegemony Part 2.
Yes. So for season 2, we had obviously a cliffhanger, and most of us had to wait 2 years, myself included.
I had to wait 2 months.
Yes. In fact, you really only had to wait like 3 weeks because we did start this a while ago.
We did start this a while ago.
Yeah. And in that episode, I'll just read for all of these. I'll read the Paramount little blurb about them underneath the episode title. So, Hegemony Part 2. Pike leads a risky rescue behind enemy lines as the landing party flees a deadly enemy. So, this one we had the Gorn. Left off last time. I don't remember exactly where we left off. I think it was when they were all captured.
Yes. Because
they were beamed up, but it was like a green wavy one, and that's the Gorn teleporter rather than
the human teleporter.
The straight blue lines, right? So the Federation.
Yeah.
So
Federation, they're more than just humans.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gosh. Racist.
I'm sorry.
Speciesist. Xenophobe. Gosh. All the words. So this episode is mostly just wrapping up all the plot threads from the end of the previous season, where we had the Gorn had taken about half the crew and a number of the survivors and all of that, and so we get a interesting sequence of just the people who were taken escaping, and then we also have a bit going on with Captain Patel. She or Batel. I keep mixing this up, by the way. You've probably noticed.
It's
Batel. Captain Batel has been infected by Gorn hatchling eggs, and so just naturally, and so trying to figure that out, and not have her explode into Gorn babies. Naturally, I wouldn't want that to happen to me either. So, I think in this episode is where we do get a slight resolution that will pick up the plot thread of they kind of just merge the Gorn and her genetics together.
Yeah.
And they did a little bit of stuff with Una's biology for being an Illyrian. Mm-hmm. So some genetic modification stuff, which is like fuzzy on the legality of that. Obviously from the start of last season, we had a whole thing about that.
We did.
The court case. So, a couple of things with that. Overall, fairly good episode. Good part 2.
Solid start to the season.
Yeah. One of the problems that I had with that episode was because we had a 2-year wait, first of all, a lot of the weight to it was
gone.
Yeah. Like, it's okay, this was 2 years ago, right? Also, part of the problem is like, we know who has to survive till at least the original series.
Yes,
right?
Stakes are...
So it's kind of hard to have stakes like that.
Yeah.
So that's a little difficult. But then also, the cliffhanger on the end of season 2 was entirely on, does Pike decide to actually go back and try to rescue them? They've been ordered back to Federation space because they can't risk losing the Enterprise. The Federation can't. And so they've been ordered back. And now Pike has to make a choice. Am I going to follow orders? Am I not going to follow orders? And that was the entire basis of the cliffhanger.
Yes.
And then a couple of months before the season released, Paramount on YouTube just released the first 5 minutes of the episode as a teaser for the episode. But that entirely resolves all the cliffhanger. Because we know now, before getting into the season, okay, he's going to go for it. Because they released the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
Which is where he makes that decision. Because that was a cliffhanger. So that was a serious problem. Massive marketing problem. Should not have done that. And then also, like, some of the characters that we know that aren't from the original series, that we don't know if they'll make it. As they were releasing trailers for the season, we saw these characters.
We did.
For episodes like, what was it, 4.5 Vulcans, right? We had a little clip from that episode as part of the trailers. And we're seeing a lot of these people who are not from the original series, who theoretically could have died in the resolution of Hegemony. We know that they're alive. So it's like, okay, all the pressure is gone for that. So it was certainly a problem. But
episode 2,
Wedding Bell Blues.
Yeah, at a Federation celebration, an uninvited guest disrupts Spock and the crew's reflections.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think, actually, I'm not sure. This might be the worst episode of the season.
It's not the worst episode of the season. It might be the second or third.
You think the documentary is worse than this?
The documentary is worse than this. We'll get to the documentary in a minute.
It's the second worst episode.
Okay, well, we'll get to the documentary in a minute. Essentially, this episode, though, is Trelane, who we do know from the original series.
Everybody's favorite. Anyone likes like Q, especially after our first.
Q is based off of Trelane, actually.
I know.
So the original series happened. We had Trelane. Trelane is like a Q type person, right? And then we had the Next Generation and everything from that, and we have Q and the Q continuum and the many Q that are out there, and then people were like, well, I wonder if Trelane was just a Q. And then in this episode, it is confirmed, spoilers, that not only is Trelane a Q, Trelane is Q, like the main Q from all of the things, like that Q. Is it John Delancey?
Yeah.
John Delancey's Q, it's his son that is born and that we meet in Voyager. So, I find that kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I care really that much one way or the other, but I do like a tie into Voyager. Like, Voyager is actually a good show.
I don't have.
It's one of my favorites ever.
I just think it's dumb.
Totally fair. I absolutely can see that. But essentially, this episode is like, well, it was supposed to be the Federation centennial or something like that, and celebration, and so then it's changed to a wedding because Trelane is like, oh, but like Spock and Chapel should be together, not Chapel and Roger Corby, and it's kind of weird. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
But
amen to that.
Moving on to episode 3, then, Shuttle to Kenfori. This is zombie episode. Pike and M'Benga enter Klingon space for Batel's cure as M'Benga's past returns on a deadly world.
Yes.
So in this one, first of all, we see that Batel is not quite cured from what they were able to do in Hegemony Part 2.
This is true.
And so there's like this little flower thing that they can use to like further merge the biologies together. So I guess that's where this happens. I think the Una stuff with that biology was happening in Hegemony. This is just trying to merge them with this little plant thing in episode 3.
Yes.
But did you like this episode a little bit more?
I did. When you mentioned I think we talked about this in the last episode for last season.
Yeah.
The Butcher of Jagal thing happened.
Yeah.
We get that in this, and I mean, I didn't like. Oh, he's cool. We already knew that. I didn't really like the resolution to that.
Yeah.
Is this the episode where we get the doctor that becomes very important? By the end of the season? Which episode is that? Is that 2?
I think that's 5.
It's 5. Yeah, that's his first appearance. I'm pretty sure he makes an appearance before.
Maybe, but not a main appearance, so we'll get to that once it becomes a little bit more important. But yeah, the M'Benga thing, as I was saying in our previous video for season 2, this, I think it's good. Like, I think, so spoilers, but they confirm that, straight up, M'Benga killed the Klingon. right? Which it's like, okay, sure, that's fine. But this is just a few episodes later. Like, we don't have 22, 24, 26 episode seasons. These are 10 episode seasons.
So this is like
that was like what episode
ago.
I think maybe even less than that. That might have been episode 7 or 8. This is episode 3 of season 3, right?
Yeah.
So it's been very short amount of time. Now, yes, okay, sure. There was 2 years between the seasons. But first of all, there was only supposed to be 1 year. And then also, if you're watching these after the fact, like Judah is, it's a quick turnaround. It's like you want to kind of sit on that, ruminate on that for a little bit, right? But they don't let you do that, and I think that that's a problem. Although, what actually, like, literally happens in the episode, it's fine. I like it.
Fun. It's fun. It's a fun episode. It's not the worst episode of the season.
Yeah. And I like the kind of sci-fi excuse for having zombies.
Yeah,
pretty cool. And Klingon zombies at that, like,
that's better.
It's that's interesting. It's very new addition to the zombie genre. It's Klingon zombies.
Yeah.
So
like that.
Doing something new with it. I can absolutely give props for that.
Yeah. Episode 4, a space adventure hour. Lon tests a prototype holodeck with a fictional case only she can solve. Oh my gosh. So
good episode.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Objectively probably not good, but I enjoyed it.
I definitely enjoyed it. This is a very standard Star Trek episode in that the holodeck is like massive plot device in a lot of things. And specifically, essentially the prompt that Lon gives this holodeck that she's trying to like stress test essentially is, make a program mystery that would be difficult for me to solve. That is basically, in effect, the same prompt that Data gave it in The Next Generation. Not something that we've covered yet, but he gives the holodeck that prompt of, okay, because he's like in his little Sherlock Holmes thing, which we did see the start of that.
We've already seen that, I thought, in season 1, because there's a whole episode with Picard and pretending to be the detective.
Nope. That is the start of where Data gets the idea of being like the Sherlock Holmes character and going after that stuff, but it's not where we actually start to see that happening.
Yeah.
So a little while later, Data gives the prompt, okay, analyze the works that have Shakespeare.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock, thank you. Analyze all the Sherlock stuff, okay, put it all together, make something that would be difficult for me to solve. And so it does that, and it creates a problem, essentially. And that's the same thing that happens here, is Lon says, create something that would be difficult for me to solve. And it does, and it is very difficult for her to solve. And then there are some errors because it always happens to be when they're around a star that's about to explode. Yeah, like, if you hear holodeck and star explode, the star is going to explode and it's going to ruin the holodeck. It always happens. It literally never does not happen like that in Star Trek.
Stay away from exploding stars when we're using the holodeck.
Yes, really should absolutely do that. But certainly when we're testing a new technology.
Oh, yeah.
But essentially, it kind of doesn't go great. Safety protocols are turned off. People could actually die in there. There was a really cool thing where she's like, I kind of need someone to help me now. I need, Sherlock has a sidekick. What's his name? Watson. So I need my Watson, is what she's thinking. And she's like, okay, let's get Spock in here. And so Spock comes in and is helping her out through this whole thing. But, spoilers, a little while later, we realize Spock never went into the holodeck. That was a creation of the holodeck to trick her. And eventually she realizes this and solves the mystery that it was Spock that was actually the murderer in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And really interesting, but it gives because we're not supposed to have holodecks right now, it's like there is a new thing in the original series and the animated series. That's the Rec Room, which is like their version of holodeck, which first of all looks very different. Like the style of the holodeck is literally just TNG and Voyager in that era. And so with the 90s style of holodeck that they have going on in this, it's like, wait, hold on, but what happened to Rec Room? Why different? Why look different? And so they, create a reason both to have the holodeck is, okay, we're testing it, but then to not have the holodeck going forward is, okay, but that did not go well, so maybe we should wait until we're able to better integrate holodeck technology into starships, which is when we get starships that have greater power availability, because it was trying to draw power from all the different systems in the ship. And so it's like, once we can get more power in these starships, then maybe we can have holodecks. But
yes,
so I think it's fine. A nice self-contained one. I think it's essentially though she's in this holodeck, and in the story it's supposed to be 60s these are all actors and actresses from Hollywood, and they're acting in what is essentially Star Trek show. And it revolves around, like, the plot of the holodeck program revolves around, well, somebody's probably killing somebody because of this show being canceled when it shouldn't have been canceled, or, whatever. But there was a lot of good moments in there. We got a full-on cold open before the opening credits of just, like, Star Trek.
It's fun.
Like, we had Kirk playing essentially Kirk. Yeah. We had Chapel playing some bridge officer, not necessarily Chapel, like, not medical staff necessarily. And then we had, was Lon in there too or something like that? But it was just fun. And it really got you engaged. Like, I saw you were like, oh, wait. And then when we went back to normal Star Trek, it was,
I'm sad. It's not.
But then at the very end, we got, I think in 2 of these episodes, we got post-credit scenes.
We did.
And one of the post-credit scenes was in this Space Adventure Hour episode. And it was just like doing, like, behind the scenes of the in-universe,
fake
out-of-universe
Star Trek
show. So of the actors of the Star Trek show in the holodeck, like, blooper type stuff. And it was fun. I thought it was fun. A lot of people had a problem with that. A lot of people said, like, oh, they're making fun of it, and they're making fun of Roddenberry, and, they're disrespecting it and things like that. I was just like, they're just having fun.
Yeah, it's just
like, yeah, okay, you're poking fun at things. Okay, you're pointing out how ridiculous some things are. One of the things that I kind of expected would make a lot of this more forgiven is, like, they made fun of, like, short skirts on all the girls in Star Trek.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you should make fun of that because it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so I thought that, especially with, modern feminism, like, that would give it such brownie points, but apparently it didn't give it as many as I would have thought. Yeah. I thought it was fun. Make fun of things. Poke fun at things.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you have no right to do anything with your property.
That's true.
So I thought it was good.
Same.
But let's move on.
Yes.
That was a highlight of the season for sure. But the next one is season 3, episode 5, Through the Lens of Time. Chapel and Corby's quest leads the Enterprise to ancient ruins hiding a dark secret.
Like I said, the show just all of a sudden becomes peak, like, out of nowhere. Like, it's like, okay, episode 1's good, episode 2, episode 3 is pretty good, episode 4, that's fun, right? Then this episode is just like, okay, we actually know how to tell a story.
Yes.
We know ball. And it's excellently done.
And it's right up your alley, too.
And it's right up my alley.
Because we were talking in the TNG part 1, I believe it was, that we recorded a couple months ago now, that there was... You had a lot of questions about, like, ancient races in Star Trek.
Because we had that one episode that really focused on that, and they went to the planet with the Ferengi, and they're like, the judge dude was there. Yeah. And I was like, well, I want to know more about that empire.
Yeah,
and
the Takan.
The Takan, and... any other ancient races, because that's, like, dope, and that's one of my favorite parts of Mass Effect and Halo and all my other favorite sci-fi.
And I wanted to mention this so bad, but I knew we'd be getting to it soon.
Yeah.
So.
And it's peak here.
Yeah. You may have noticed I was being quite cagey in that episode about actually answering your question, except to tell you that there are some cool things. Yeah. And this is one of them. This is so cool.
And it's fantastically done, and it really sets up kind of how the rest of the season goes and how it finishes.
And this is where we get that doctor that you were mentioning. Great. I wanted so much of this guy. Like, I feel so bad I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, dude, I'm forgetting his name too. Oh my gosh.
But it's so good. But essentially in this episode, while you're looking for the name, in this episode we have, okay, they've gone down to this planet and there's these, like, ancient structure there. Okay, we're going to go in the structure. We're going to find, oh, wait, this is, like, interdimensional space. Oh, wait, there are these things trapped here. Oh, wait, we just learned that this is, like, the definition of evil is trapped here. Like, literally what all of the races get their definition of evil from is based off of these guys. If you've seen the Doctor Who episode with David Tennant, where there's the demon in the heart of a planet that is trapped around a black hole. The idea in that episode is like, oh, every single species in the universe has a, like, Satan story or allegory of some kind, and they're all based off of this one guy. Well, if you've seen that, then you can kind of understand what's happening here. Every single species has a evil that is based off of what is called Vezda in this episode.
Yes.
And once we get to the final episode here, which also resolves this a little bit more, slight spoilers, that it continues after this episode.
Gamble. Ensign Gamble.
Thank you, Ensign Gamble. I will have a theory that has been presented. I have not told Judah yet, so I'm excited to tell you what the theory is.
Yeah.
But essentially, some ancient species, empire of some kind, trapped the Vezda, the definition of evil, in this little ruined temple thing, and they accidentally released one of them into Ensign Gamble, and so he is kind of undead a little bit.
Yeah.
Which funny, 2 episodes ago we had the zombies, and so in this episode, this kind of, they think it's a grenade of some kind, and it blows up, and it like takes away his eyes, blows up his eyes, something like that.
Yeah.
And so first of all, kind of creepy horror, looking at this guy without eyes and just like burned eye sockets around it. And doctors like saying, okay, well, we can regenerate your eyes and things like that. And so they're trying to do that, but it's not happening, and it's weird. And then he does some brain scans, and he's like, oh, you're brain dead? And he's like, I'm not brain dead. I'm right here. And then we learn, oh, wait, he is brain dead. That's not
him.
That's not him. And so Gamble is dead. He died, and it is now a Vezda that is puppeteering his body.
Yes.
So that's kind of creepy. Don't like that very much. A little horrifying. Eventually, they're able to resolve the whole thing. The away team was trapped in this little temple for a while, and they
solving some very interesting puzzles that relate to time. And
cause and effect being reversed, and there's like we saw when we were in this one room that this bridge was there because we went through and we activated it. Therefore, we know that we did that. So right now, we should just walk across this empty space because we know that the effect has already happened, and so now we have to be the cause for that effect. But after the effect has happened, and there was one thing that I thought as they then walked across this empty gap, it revealed the bridge was there. I feel like they should have walked across it and it stayed an empty gap, and then they pressed the button and then the bridge was there. Feel like that would have been a little bit better.
That would have been a little bit better.
Other than that, this was just a good episode.
Solid episode, sets up Ensign Gamble for,
and the whole cause and effect stuff for the finale.
Yes.
But moving on,
episode 6, the Salat, who ate its tail.
They're basically, I believe they're supposed to be like Klingon dogs, or not Klingon, Vulcan dogs.
Yeah. Kirk's first day as captain turns disastrous when the Scavenger ship seizes the Enterprise. This is, again, back to this show, just all out of nowhere. 2 episodes in a row, just like, I decided that we can be great. You know?
We had a great fun episode, and then just 2 serious good episodes.
Yes.
In a row.
It's like insane, and it never happens.
Yeah.
And then this is great. We get to establish a lot of the dynamics, including Kirk and Scotty, which is, again, going to play a role in the final episode of the season as well.
Yeah.
And there's
some cool like cosmic horror-esque stuff.
Yes.
Right?
There's some great... the ship...
Yeah, the Scavenger ship is the cosmic horror in this episode. It is titanic, gargantuan, and whoever, which we'll get to, has made this ship, has made the front of it where they essentially like trap vessels. They've made it look like the maw of a giant beast.
It's so good.
It's insanely good, and it like eats the Enterprise, and so like they're trapped in it. And then we have two main ships in this is the Enterprise and the Farragut. Enterprise, obviously we all know everything about that. The Farragut is Kirk's ship right now, and he is the commander of it. The captain is this Vulcan lady, and she's
injured and then beamed aboard the Enterprise for medical attention.
But then the Enterprise is taken away, and so Kirk is now acting captain. And then also trapped on this ship because they had come over to like help make repairs and fill in some missing staff was essentially the original series bridge crew.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
Like not even Lon's a main character in this show, so I guess we'll have her in there. Like no, they just make this an original series kind of direct prequel. Like this is their first team up, and that was a lot of fun. And a lot of interesting moments of kind of connecting these people together so that we can understand more like how close they are by the time of the original series, as well as some Kirk and Spock stuff. And Spock is kind of encouraging Kirk because he has always known that he wants to be like the guy that makes captain fastest of anyone in history. But then now that he's actually acting captain, he's like questioning every single choice that he's ever made. And so Spock kind of helps him with that. And I think that was really cool too. And then the whole resolution to the episode.
Yes, so they do a big explosion. They free the Enterprise, and Enterprise escapes. They explode the ship, and then they recognize all the life signs are human.
Yep, 7,000 life signs. They're finally not like cloaked life signs, and they realize all 7,000 are human life signs. And then they're like, oh, wait, what?
What? Yeah.
And so they zoom in and zoom in and zoom in until they find some insignia on the side of one of the vessels that was inside of it, and they realize that this was an early American spaceship that was sent after World War III, which is middle of the 21st century. I believe this year is when it was supposed to start in the Star Trek universe. Originally, they keep pushing it back. We saw in season 2, the whole Romulan time travel stuff is pushing the timeline back a little bit. So that is no longer the case. I think now there were also the Bell riots from Deep Space Nine happen in 2026. Pretty sure that'll be a plot point that we'll get back to when we watch Deep Space Nine. But I believe that was also 2026. So this is kind of a big year in the Star Trek universe. But
it is.
They were sent up after World War III, and it's like, okay, this is going to be Hope. And Pelia was there. Pelia remembers it. Because if you remember, she was at least around in 2024, I believe, is when season 2 time travel. And so she was around for that. So, and also she says she's like 5,000 years old. And so she's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like these were the brightest people in humanity. Like this was our future. We were like, okay, we're gonna like all come together now, and we're gonna go to the stars after World War III. And then it failed. But then we learn that these are the descendants of those people, and it's like this is what happens with desperation.
Yeah.
Right. So sad, so real, but such a good,
fantastically done.
Yeah, such a good story, such a good thing to wrestle with, and Kirk is wrestling with it because he gave the order that killed all 7,000 of them, and they were humans. Like, and that's another thing is like it's kind of easier when they're not human.
It is.
Like even in the Star Trek, super perfect future universe of like aliens are like everybody's equal and it's all egalitarian, and we're in this kind of communist utopia or socialist utopia, I think is what Pelia mentions at some point in this. But even then it's like, okay, but if you blow up 7,000 Klingons, they're the enemy.
Yeah.
If you kill 7,000 Vulcans even, it's like, well, they're not human.
Yeah.
But this was humans, right? He killed 7,000 humans. And so first of all, he's just wrestling with, I killed 7,000 people. But then second of all, he's also wrestling with the fact that, wait, this kind of hurts more that it was humans that I've killed. And so there's some of that wrestling that's happening in the background there too, which is really interesting.
Yes.
But next episode.
All right, episode 7, What is Starfleet? We're not going to spend too much time on this. While aiding a war-torn planet, Pike and a crew face scrutiny from a probing journalist.
The probing journalist is Batel. This is the worst episode of the season. I do not care what you say. It's not the second worst. It's the worst.
I feel like I don't really vibe with the second episode.
I despise this episode.
Trelane or Q or whatever. Like, I think that's garbage.
I just think you're wrong. This episode sucks.
This episode does suck.
It's just like a documentary episode, and it's like, kind of don't care. And Beto's kind of a jerk.
I like Beto though. I do.
Generally speaking, yeah. And we get some good moments with him. Episode 10.
Episode 8 and episode 10.
Yeah, we get some good moments with him, but in this episode, it's just like, okay. And he's like getting close to Uhura because like they're kind of having a little relationship thing going on, but then he's kind of using that to like get information, and he's like extremely biased anti-Starfleet while he's making this documentary.
Yep.
And it's like
based.
You can be like, I do not mind you being anti the governing body at all, but you're presenting yourself as like, well, I'm just asking a question. What is Starfleet? But then really what you're asking the entire time is, why are you evil? Why is Starfleet evil? Why did Starfleet take my sister away from me? His sister, by the way, is Ortegas. Why'd you take my sister away from me? Why did my sister get hurt? It's like, can you not act like a child, Beto, please? And yeah, this episode, it's just not.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of all there is to talk about it. It's a documentary asking what is Starfleet, and then he resolves it by being like, I guess they're okay, and I don't actually hate them as much as I thought.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Episode 8.
4.5 Vulcans.
Yep. After a mission turns crew members into Vulcans, trouble arises when they try to revert back to human form. We referenced this with our opening. This is a fun episode as well. Mm-hmm. Also, I did have a thought, and spoilers. I think the 4.5 Vulcans refers to the other Vulcan guy as well, and not La'an, because she's kind of a Romulan. I don't know why. I thought that. My brain was just like, it 4.5 Vulcans. The guy, Doug.
No.
4.5 Vulcans.
It's Spock.
Spock is the half Vulcan.
Is half Vulcan.
Yeah, Spock is the. That's not a debate here. I'm just saying, of the 4, I don't count La'an because she's a Romulan.
Oh well, they're the same thing.
No, they're not.
Well, okay, that's
specious.
That's a big spoiler for the episode. This was kind of more of a fun episode in the same vein as I believe it was episode 4, right?
Yes.
Space Adventure Hour. This was interesting. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Not too serious. Essentially, okay, there's this planet that has that's pre-warp, so Prime Directive, we can't interact with them, but they have a problem. But slight thing going on. Actually, the Vulcans made contact with them before the Prime Directive was a thing and before the Federation was a thing. So they know about Vulcans. So the Vulcans could go down there and help them with their problem before it's like a nuclear reactor or something blows up. The Vulcans could do it. Vulcans are too far away though. So remember season 2 when Spock became fully human and then we had to like make him Vulcan again? Okay, we'll just do the opposite of that and make they had Pike, they had La'an, they had Uhura, and they had Chapel. And then they sent down Spock as well. And so 4.5 Vulcans went down. And it was really funny. Spock was like, something along the lines of, okay, now we have 5 Vulcans. And then Pike was like, 4.5. As you are logically only half Vulcan. And then Spock is like, logically. And he's kind of mad. Interesting thing, it was revealed in season 2, that episode about the humans, being fully human and all that. It's mentioned that he was so discriminated against in, growing up on Vulcan because of his human half that he literally he was cutting himself to try to cut out the human half.
Yes.
And a lot of people mentioned the kind of tonal difference between that and then you're only half Vulcan and making fun of that the entire episode. I still appreciate the episode for what it was, but I do also understand, like, when you set something up like that and then you just immediately start poking fun of it, like a season later, like nothing happened, and like that wasn't kind of a big important moment for Spock and his story. It's like little tone deaf, gonna be honest.
Yeah.
But still, putting that aside, I thought a lot of it was really funny. But essentially they go down and they solve the problem down there like really quick. Peli was like, oh, this should take like 3 hours. And then they're literally done in about 4 seconds and she's insulted because they're making her look bad. But that's Vulcan efficiency for you. And then they come back up and the serum doesn't work and the Kirkovian serum doesn't work. And so Chapel's going to have to like make a better version because when she was human, she probably made mistakes. And so that's going to take a couple of hours. And so we get to kind of see them living their lives, but Vulcan now. And that's where we get some interesting stuff with Beto in this episode. Beto and Uhura. And we meet Doug as well, who kind of helps to... Because eventually the 4 Vulcans decide, we want to stay Vulcan forever.
Because that's logical.
Because logically, any Vulcan would say that being Vulcan is better than being anything else. And so they don't want to change back, even after getting the serum. This Doug guy is kind of an expert on the Katras, and so he is able to get them in touch with their Katras to say, wait, no, we actually don't want to be Vulcan. We want to go back to how we were as human. And that kind of resolves that. There's a lot of funny stuff with Doug and Una. And then at the very end, we get the next post-credit scene of the series so both of the more silly episodes, post-credit scenes, is just Spock and Doug just talking in the bar, and like Spock is trying to teach him like contractions.
Yeah.
It's, and he's trying to like just say it faster and faster. It is is essentially what he gets down to. Yeah. But he's able to say isn't, and so that's a massive moment.
He also says
and he does say I'm at some point, and I think that was just missed.
Yeah, I think
gonna be honest. But then Spock, it was really funny. First of all, pull my finger, and he's like, just pull your finger, and he's like, yeah, you just pull my finger, and then he pulls his finger, and then Spock says, and then flatulence. That was hilarious. Then there was also the up high, down low, that moves his hand out of the way too slow. He says, Doug was like, why did you do that? And he said, you were too slow. Hilarious. And then I think I choose to believe that this is canon, but I think that this is just straight up crap. Who's the guy who plays Spock? I forgot.
Ethan
Peck. Thank you. Ethan Peck.
How do you not know his name? His Pecks are massive, and that's his
Ethan Peck's Pecks. Yes. Ethan Peck. I think that this is just a breaking character moment. The very last scene is as Doug is walking away because he said isn't correctly, and he's like, okay, well, I guess we're done here. I got a contraction, and so he just like stops everything and walks away. Spock is just looking off into the distance, and then all of a sudden, I think it's just Ethan Peck, his fully broken character, and he just like lets out a massive smile and starts a giggle, I think, and then it cuts. Yeah. I choose to believe that is canon because that was hilarious. Yeah. But anyway, this episode was just fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Minus the whole, cutting out the human half thing, which we're just not going to talk about.
It's dark.
Yeah,
and we'll just put that in the dump.
Yeah. Terrarium, episode 9.
Stranded on a toxic moon, Ortegas must defy her deepest beliefs to survive.
This is... I don't care.
Episode 10.
Not quite. Oh. It's a reference to an original series episode where these... I don't care the species at all, but this like more advanced species from different space has put... In the original series, it was Kirk and Gorn, stranded on this planet, and it's the one that everybody knows. Like Kirk is like fighting the Gorn, and he's like hitting him, and it's like really very much 60s action sequence going on there. And then like he picks up this rock that's just styrofoam and like throws it at the Gorn, or like drops it on the Gorn or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? That is the same people set that thing up as set this thing up with Ortegas and the Gorn, and it kind of just happens. They're stranded. They kind of work together, and that's about it. Lon does at the very end though sees Gorn, kills Gorn, and then Ortegas is sad because Gorn was friend. Yeah. Episode 10: New Life and New Civilizations. I wonder where they got that from. When an ancient evil resurfaces, Pike faces a life-altering choice to stop it. Greatest episode of the season?
Actually, I think episode 5 is better, but this is still great. Again, peak out of nowhere. Really good.
It's a follow-up to episode 5.
Yeah. Gamble, excellent villain. I guess we're just calling him Gamble.
Yeah, the Vezda Gamble.
Yeah.
Vezda Gamble.
Fantastic. Batel and Pike and those are great. And Benga's just the best. He always will be the best.
Always.
Spock and Kirk and Scotty. Yes. And again, everything that has kind of been set up throughout the season kind of comes to a resolution point here. Mm-hmm. And it's really fantastic. We get a really beautiful thing of Batel and Pike living their life together before inevitably both of them are going to have to give up their own lives and destiny or fate or whatever is going to take it away.
Because we obviously know Pike's fate. We know it because we just know it from Star Trek history. But then he also knows it because of what happens in Discovery and the Klingon time crystals and all that. And so he knows his fate, and kind of everyone around him knows his fate, that he's going to end up in the chair. But then we also learn here that Batel is also, because of the whole cause-effect thing that we were talking about in episode 5, that resurfaces here, and we learn that she is actually the guardian of the prison of the Vezda. And again, it's like a weird inversion of cause and effect, and this was all set up and predestined and all that, which is kind of a callback to, I believe it was like episode 2 or 3 of season 1 that we talked about with that, the asteroid. Yeah. So I mentioned to Judah, it slightly brings up the rating of that episode just because of the theme. Yeah. Even though nothing changes about that episode at all. It's a theme now of this show, which is interesting. And so, with that, now these two characters are both fated to sacrifice everything. Neither of them are fated to die, because words are so hard right now. Pike ends up in the chair. Batel ends up as the guardian for infinity over this prison. Neither of them are fated to die, but they are fated to completely give up everything. Yes. And so they are gifted with being able to, in this kind of imagination world. Yeah, they're able to live out their lives, grow old, and have a family. They have a daughter. They have 2 dogs throughout the time. One a golden retriever, one I believe an Australian shepherd. Yeah. And I love Australian shepherds, by the way. I have one. I miss my dog. They have this life together. They have a daughter. They have dogs. They have just a great life together, and it's really sweet. And then we get the realization that, okay, this is just all like a dream sequence, essentially. Alternate reality type thing they're able to live, and then we get back to it after they've had that life, and Pike is kind of dealing with that because now not only is this his girlfriend of a long time, it's also in this kind of pocket reality type thing that they were doing. They got married, they grew old, and they not quite died together, but they grew really old together and had this full life. And so he's kind of dealing with the loss of that too. Yeah. Very powerful, great sequence, so sad. Yes. The song that they played over it is very not Star Trek to do that, to like have a song playing over scenes like that, but like I thought it was really good. Yes. Very powerful.
Fantastic. And also we get fun stuff with Kirk and Spock mind melding.
Yes.
Literally Kirk and I. I'm not going to explain who's Spock and who's Kirk, but
Is Kirk or is Kirk Spock?
Kirk
Who knows?
Spock.
So yeah, but this was just another absolutely fantastic standout for the season. But this season overall, I mean, what we liked episode 1.
Didn't like episode 2.
We liked episode 3.
Yes.
Liked episode 4.
Yes.
Loved episode 5.
Yes.
Liked episode 6.
Didn't really like episode 7.
Didn't really like. Episode 8 was funny. Terrarium's kind of
garbage.
I'd give 5. It's like it is middling. And then 10 also really, really good.
Yeah. So overall, this is probably the best season of the series.
Yeah. This is truly fantastic. I love this show so much, especially because of this season. Season 4 should be releasing late summer. Yeah. So a couple of months away. And they'll probably do a 2-episode release day, drop thing, whatever. And so we'll have 9 weeks because there will be 10 episodes.
Yes.
Season 5 will probably come next year as well. That will only be a limited, I think, 6 episodes, which is unfortunate. But there's massive kind of pressure on Paramount right now to do a Star Trek Year 1 type thing, which is, okay, so as of season 3, it's supposed to be like 6 years, something like that, until the whole Pike incident and then Kirk being captain. The original series starts a couple of years then after that.
Yes.
And so season 4 will have to have a bunch of time pass in it. Season 5 will have a lot more time passing in it. But then we can have Star Trek Year 1 where it's the first year of Kirk. And so it's like much closer of a prequel to the original series. We'll have more or less the same crew. I mean, we may still have, say, Lon, right? We may still have Una, who are, new characters for this show. But it'll be mostly, Kirk, Spock, Uhura, M'Benga, Chapel, all those characters being on the bridge. And that would be a lot of fun. So that pressure is going right now because of this show, really.
Because it's actually pretty good.
It's actually,
or at least this season is
quite good.
And parts of 2 and 1.
Yeah, parts of 2 and 1, a lot of season 3, hopefully most of season 4, and
we'll have to see.
Season 5. Man, they have an opportunity in season 5 to just make the best compact Star Trek we've ever seen.
They do have that opportunity. With that being said, we gotta shout out that you have to hit the subscribe button if you're not already, because we failed to do that.
Yeah,
we the end of the video
got so caught up in the conversation.
Yeah, hit a like, hit a dislike, depending on your thoughts. Leave a comment down below with what you thought of Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
What's your favorite episode?
Yeah, and any other thoughts, anything Star Trek related, suggestions, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Drink shout out.
Oh, I gotta do it myself. Oh no. Let's see. If you're having a nice warm glass of milk.
You've done that before.
I've done that before, but I really like it. I really like shouting out because
he has a problem.
I know there's only one person that listens to this show and has warm glass of milk. So shout out to you. You know who you are. That being said, good morning,
good evening,
and good night.
God bless.
All right, bye-bye.